Hello. I am just enjoying my bath time, after bath time snack. Today we have something called mitarashi dango. It's a grilled rice cake dipped in a salty, sweet, savory, sweet syrup. It's affordable, delicious, and yeah, just good. Something I really like to eat. You can tell them how dark you want them to grill it. Sometimes I get the burnt one, but today I just got the standard one because yeah, I didn't really feel like having too much of bitterness with the burnt one, but these are really good, and I'm having my green tea. I finally finished the lower quality bags, and now I'm into the higher quality ones. Anyway, let's have a bite, and then, yeah. Very good. I wish they only had a salty version of this. The sweet version of this is still very good, and there's enough of a savory component in it because I think they use like some seaweed or some fish component or some ocean component to mix with the soy sauce to mix with the sugar. But if this were a salty snack as opposed to just a salty snack instead of a sweet and savory snack, I think it'd be pretty good too. Yeah, also, I had some food before I ate this, so it's been sitting out. It's not as hot and fresh, but it's still good. Happy Monday to everybody. I already wish it was Friday, so that's always a good sign. I didn't get a lot of sleep or good quality sleep yesterday, and I was really dehydrated, and I didn't eat well yesterday. It kind of happens if I go out and play board games with people. Depending on if there are new people there or not, sometimes I just get nervous, and then I get super animated when playing board games and really, I guess, into the game. And so then it makes me forget to eat or drink, so I end up getting a little dehydrated and hungry afterwards. But yeah, I've been having a lot of eye strain. Just when I go outside, I tend to be very, very hyper aware of my surroundings. I guess being from the US, I'm trained to be afraid of the dangerous stuff around me or on the ground. You don't have to do it as much here in Japan, but it's just a habit I can't really get rid of. So what happens is, excuse me, my eyes get really fatigued from darting around so much, and that usually leads to a tension headache, and then on top of that I was dehydrated, and so I just didn't get good sleep. I'd say today I am at about maybe a 6 out of 10 condition, 5.5 maybe. I'll say 5.5 out of 10 condition today. What can you do though? I will just try to relax. Well, today I'll just make sure to try to get to bed early, but yeah, I don't know. And then there's always that undercurrent of just general depression and not really feeling like working. Yeah, I don't know. What do I like to do when I'm depressed? I don't want to say eating, because that's just like, it's not a good way to get over any type of depression. Things that make me happy when I'm depressed. Honestly, sleeping. That's the only thing that makes me feel good. But also, it's probably one of the hardest things to do, because if I'm depressed with my free time, I don't feel like sleeping because I know that if I sleep, I'll wake up and return to the thing that made me depressed, which is probably having to go to work the next day. I guess reading books, but sometimes I'm just too tired to read. So I don't have that much free time. Man, you know what? What do I do? Walking? I always love walking. That always makes me feel good. So there's walking, eating, sleeping. I guess that's it. But I guess talking to friends too makes me feel happy, but I don't really get the opportunity to do that much. People are just busy, and I just really feel, sometimes I just don't feel motivated to pick up the phone and call. Maybe about another couple weeks here in Japan. Nothing really planned. I thought about maybe doing like a day trip or a weekend trip to a different city, but that would mean that I would have to buy a hotel, probably spend more money on the trip. And I try to be frugal because money is always hard to come by. But people that I know tell me that sometimes I'm too frugal, and that once in a while I should just spend money on myself, especially considering that using money when you're young has more value, I guess. But then you could say the same thing about every dollar that you save when you're young has way more value when you're older, because it can grow as it ages. I don't know. Things can be good and things can be bad. You just never know. Man, I wish I got to meet more locals here. Everyone that I've met in Japan has been an expat or an immigrant. So like people immigrating to Japan to live here. There's nothing wrong with that. I think Japanese people don't make friends like they do in, I don't know, it's harder to make friends once you're out of high school, I've heard. And I think I understand my dad a lot more these days, because he always used to tell me that how hard it becomes to make friends when you get older. And he kept in touch with people that he knew from high school too. So, yeah, I don't know. And I thought, why are you telling me this? It's not important in America. But the same thing is true in America. Well, it's not as true. I know people like leave cities to go to work and make friends or whatever, but once you get to a certain age, it's pretty much true for everyone that you'll pretty much make no friends. And it's probably why people become so lonely as they get older, especially if they're single. Like, you can imagine someone who is 60 years old and never got married. And if they've had to move a couple times for work, what do they do to socialize? I don't know. That's why it's important. That's why I feel that's why it's important to try to make effort even if you're sad or unmotivated, because however sad and lonely you might feel now, you can imagine how much harder it'll be if you continue kind of isolating yourself or not putting yourself out there as you get older. It'll only get harder. But yeah, I guess anyway, my point is, or I guess not my point, but I haven't met many Japanese people here or made friends with any Japanese person here. Just non-Japanese people living here. Actually, that's not to blame. I'm a big part of the blame too. I have no motivation to learn Japanese. So there's always going to be that language barrier, which I can't blame anyone for not wanting to deal with. But it's kind of just, yeah, I don't know. I'll miss Japan, but I wish I got to meet more local Japanese people. Again, mostly my fault. But I'm sure there are people who would have wanted to learn English and would have been willing to communicate in English. I guess I just never found those people. Again, probably my fault, because I do things through applications or talking on the internet first rather than meeting people face to face. It's just kind of hard if you don't drink alcohol and you don't like to go to parties. Yeah, I don't know. I'm renting as usual. I think I'll save this one for later. Maybe save two for later? No, I'll just save one for later. I wonder what it tastes like cold. They tell you that you should consume this immediately after buying it or within the same day. But maybe it'll taste okay cold. You know, like pizza. But yeah. That's all I have. If you're feeling sad, I hope or demotivated. I don't know. I tell myself to just keep trying. No point in giving up now. You've been here for this long. Might as well just march on. Also, sometimes when I see people on the street, I feel like I have no right to complain about my life. There are lots of people who have it harder, and they manage to keep going. I think I can keep going also. Okay, I'm ranting. I didn't want... maybe this is turning into kind of a more serious conversation than I kind of intended for a... Anyway, it's only Monday. For me, I wish myself a good rest of the week and everyone else too. Peace.